Fox 2 News at 5 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Warren police announcing the arrest of a suspected serial rapist.
He is accused of raping at least 2 women inside a vacant home. Orlando Marshall Jr., who you see right here, is now facing several felonies. The first victim was raped at gunpoint on May 19th after meeting Marshall on a personal site. A second victim was raped at the same vacant home 8 days later. Police say Marshall brought a third potential victim to the home on May 28th, but officers were there watching the property and intervened. The woman was saved, but Marshall somehow escaped and was arrested in Detroit on Tuesday. Warren police are asking any other potential victims to come forward.
Just a horrific crime. A family and community in mourning tonight. Now the man accused of the disappearance of a local nurse is charged in connection with her murder.
Patrice Wilson, a well-respected nurse, a daughter, a mother, was abducted last month over Mother's Day weekend while leaving her shift at Detroit Receiving Hospital. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack with more on the new developments in this case.
I do believe that Mr. Miller is a danger, so there is no bond.
Remanded to jail, no bond given Thursday afternoon for 36-year-old Jameer Miller, accused of kidnapping and killing his ex-girlfriend, a nurse, 29-year-old Patrice Wilson.
It was a woman that had a relationship with a man that she was trying to get out of. It was a woman that was hardworking, was simply leaving her job that day to get home to her family. And I think everybody can relate to that. And everybody can hope that nothing like that will happen to them.
That was back on May 13th. Miller allegedly wearing a blonde wig, waiting outside Wilson's work, Detroit Receiving Hospital, forcing her into her car at gunpoint. Her body was later found in the trunk at her Novi apartment complex, shot and killed. She leaves behind a young son.
Hopefully this brings some degree of closure to the family.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy says that Wilson was actively trying to get out of her relationship with Miller when she was killed. Worthy says that is the most dangerous time for domestic violence victims.
It was a man that allegedly would not leave her alone, would not respond to her wishes to leave her alone.
Fox 2 has learned that Miller is tied to another woman, Bianca Green, a nursing student who's been missing, last seen in Inkster back in 2011. Miller and Green share a child together. He was never charged in her disappearance. We asked Prosecutor Worthy about the possibility of looking at that case once again.
I'm not going to comment on that. And certainly if we have anything else to investigate, we will be investigating.
Reporting downtown Detroit, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Today was sentencing day for the man convicted in the death of WWJ reporter Jim Matthews. Arthur Williamson will spend the rest of his life in prison after pleading no contest to first-degree murder, assault with intent to murder, and unlawful imprisonment. Matthews was stabbed to death in his own home last September. His girlfriend and her children were also attacked but survived. In court today, a statement was read on behalf of Matthews' 11-year-old son, Hunter, who was also critically injured that day at the hands of Williamson.
I hate you. I hate you for what you did to me and my family. You ruined my life. You ruined all of our lives. And now my dad is gone, and we have to live with what you did. You put me and my mom and my sister through hours of hell. What you did to my dad is horrible. I had to see him like that, and that's something a kid should never have to go through. Not to mention the pain and torture you put me through. You are evil.
Oh, it's just so heartbreaking. We will bring you more from inside and outside the court today, coming up on Fox 2 News at 6.
Well, a dump truck veers off the freeway and ends up in a ditch on Detroit's west side. Skyfox over the scene near 96 and Telegraph. The semi was in the westbound lane of 96 when it suddenly left the freeway, crossed through a fence on Schoolcraft, and tumbled right into a ditch. It happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. No word on the driver's condition or what may have caused the crash.
And turning to weather, what an amazing, beautiful day out there to welcome the month of June.
Yeah, this is a great start to this summer-like weather. I know it's not summer just yet, but Rich Luderman, hey, you couldn't fool us. I don't care what the calendar says. It feels like July or August.
Roop and Amy, we're still 3 weeks away from the official start of summer. And yeah, very summer-like readings once again today. 87 here right now, 90 in Battle Creek. Look at Marquette way up there in the UP, 88 degrees, 89 around Fort Wayne. Today, some Thunder showers did develop close to Lake Michigan, out around Grand Haven and Kalamazoo, close to Chicago as well. We're not even close to that action. In fact, we have blue skies here. Live pictures from Mount Clemens. Boy, it looks nice out there. 86 degrees. That's the Clinton River right in the middle of the picture. For the rest of tonight, very nice. Down to 63. Now, it does stay warm for Friday and Saturday, but Saturday afternoon brings a chance for some spotty showers. Next week, not as hot, Amy. We're going to check that 7-day coming up in 10.
All right, thank you, Rich. Well, President Biden took a tumble this afternoon. He had just finished his commencement address at the U.S. Air Force Academy when he apparently tripped over a sandbag while shaking hands with an Academy graduate. He was quickly helped up and made it back to his seat unassisted. The White House Communications Director tweeted saying the president is just fine.
Well, the debt ceiling deal is now in the hands of the Senate after passing the House Thursday night, and the clock is ticking before Monday's deadline.
Some Democrats argue the spending cuts just go too far, but some Republicans say they don't go far enough. We get the latest from Fox's Madeline Rivera.
With just days before a June 5th deadline, senators are racing to pass legislation that would raise the borrowing limit and cap government spending. If the Senate makes any changes to the bill, it would head back to the House, a delay that could result in a government default.
At this point, any needless delay or any last-minute holdups would be an unnecessary and even dangerous risk.
But lawmakers on both sides are calling for amendment votes that threaten to hold up the process. Some Democrats argue the spending cuts go too far, while others, like Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, want more funding for the U.S. military and Ukraine.
I'm not going to destroy our military in the name of raising the debt. I'm not going to be part of a political system in Washington that pulled the plug on the Ukraine at the time they're making advances.
Over in the House, Speaker Kevin McCarthy secured a victory Wednesday night when the legislation passed in a bipartisan fashion. But some Republicans argue McCarthy's deal with President Biden compromised too much, and they're considering the idea of filing a motion to vacate the chair, though the majority say they still have confidence in the Speaker.
We started a few months ago with Biden and Schumer saying clean debt ceiling lift or nothing. And just telling us to eat it. So they got a lot of good policy.
The Senate requires 60 votes to end debate, meaning at least 9 Republicans will have to back the bill before the final majority vote to send it to the president's desk. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Well, back here at home, summer rate increases kick in today for DTE and Consumers Energy. It means you're going to pay more during peak hours.
And some believe any rate hike is just too much, especially after those widespread outages we had earlier this year. Fox News' Robin Murdoch with more from frustrated DTE customers.
When we lost power this last time, they actually bragged to their stockholders that they were putting off investments into their own grid to be able to pay them.
The talk of this town hall, rising electricity rates while residents deal with repeated outages. Dozens and dozens attended this gathering inside the Ruth Peterson Community Center in Pontiac on Wednesday night. The point to basically vent after back-to-back ice storms in February left hundreds of thousands of people in the dark for days.
I think that this right now is a long overdue conversation, especially when it comes to the conversation of reliability, because we shouldn't be asking while we're paying bills for energy whether or not our lights are going to stay on.
It is the latest in a series of sessions to get feedback on power problems plaguing Metro Detroit as DTE proposes yet another price hike. It also comes amid new summer electricity rates for both DTE and Consumers Energy customers that take effect today during what is considered peak hours. DTE customers will be charged an additional 2 cents per kilowatt hour between 3 and 7 p.m., while Consumers Energy customers will pay a penny more from 2 until 7 p.m.
DTE Energy has the resources to be able to invest in their infrastructure. So we need to make sure that our legislators are empowering the Michigan Public Service Commission to be able to hold DTE accountable in that way and make sure they're actually making those investments into the grid while they're requesting these rate increases.
DTE is asking for a roughly $620 million increase, which is estimated to raise the average household's bill by more than $12 a month. We're told the money would help pay for the utility company's tree trimming program and other operational needs. If given the green light, it would be DTE's 8th price spike since 2010. That in itself has some seeing red.
Let's be loud and clear to our utility companies. that we are looking for them to come here and update the infrastructure so that when we have that weather change, that we will be protected.
And regarding those summer rate hikes during peak times, again, they go in effect today, and they will remain in effect through the end of September. Reporting for Fox 2 News, I'm Robin Murdoch.